Okay, it's getting ready to go. Okay, it's getting ready to go. You're live.
Oh, so excited. We are all things well back.
I'll take that back. You know what? I put 2 o'clock in there because Fiona was, and so it's still telling me 2 minutes. That's what I'm looking for. It's still waiting for 2 o'clock to roll around, so. You want to wait 2 minutes or you want me to redo it? Let's wait.
No. That was.
Oh, they have a countdown clock over there.
Wow.
He's gonna have one nice photo for people.
Are they separated too? Are they, should they be closer?
Huh?
Should they be closer together? Or that a bit?
I think that's good.
Yes, good, okay. Okay, you got 1:40 to go. 1:40. Talk amongst yourself.
Oh, like just nice for picture then.
Yes.
You can't take pictures.
Yeah, she can take your picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's enough.
Okay.
Okay, let me take mine. 1 minute. Okay, I'm gonna take a couple of pictures. Big smiles. Big Australian smile.
I'm thinking here, you should be like, oh, pass that.
I'm doing just fine. Desi gets the picture. Desi gets the visibility. Okay, 35 seconds,
35 seconds.
35 seconds. Okay, 10 seconds.
Okay.
Done. Okay, all right, you're live.
Well, hello, everybody. We are here at the Palm Springs Grown Fest, and we are on the stage of Vertical Spaces. And what a great opportunity to have our guest speaker, Fiona. She's up here and going to be sharing with us. And I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing in the industry.
Yes, so Fiona Lake, and I'm from Northern Australia, and I'm a long-term aerial photographer working in agriculture mostly, and now I also train for flight drones, but it's technical training, not formal certified training.
So tell us a little more about that. When you're saying that it's practical training, what is that consist of?
You know, a lot of people mistakenly think that means, oh, we go out and fly a drone. Well, that's a bit like watching grass grow. It's like teaching someone to ride a bike or drive a car. You do that in your own time, that practice. More it is being practical, as in fundamentals. What can you really use a drone for? What do you really need to know? And what is myth? Quite a bit of snake oil, as most of us know in the drone industry, and it's very hard to distinguish between what is fact and what is fiction, what is true and what is realistic. And encouraging people to know themselves, and if they're wanting to make some money out of their drone, what is real, how can they really make money, but also long term, not just short term. And a lot of people mistakenly will chase a short term thing, which won't pan out long term, and that's a waste of time. You know, we want longevity, because if you're put a lot of money and a lot of training and a lot of time and effort into something, you want to be able to do it long term. So it's experience-based because I've been in aerial photography since 1980. I've been selling photos since 1982. So I started with film and I've produced books and done different things, and I bring all that into what I teach. So I say I've spent 40 years, and everything I've done combines to give to help people, specific individuals, what they need personally.
So when they come to you, they're just starting out with one and they're looking for, okay, what's next? And then you're guiding them along for that. Here's how I'm going to step up. There's something safety.
And it's practical safety. I no longer run through all the official rules. What I say to them is, you've just got to make sure you don't hurt any people, you don't damage property. If you follow those two things, you'll meet all of the federal regulations. And here's why. And I also give them examples of what goes wrong, because unfortunately now our drones are so reliable, a lot of people mistakenly think, oh, I'll never fail, we'll never be an issue. You'll never lose the screen movement, you'll never lose transmission, you'll never have a motor die. You know, because they're so reliable, it's also meant for picking up friends, it's got show examples. This is why you don't fly the line of sight, because all these things go wrong, and the drone particularly need to know why. If you make them follow rules before, we need to know why. And if it's a good reason for a rule, we give them. If you say do this, why? Why should I? This is very much an Australian thing. So it means you have to be good, you have to be able to talk about why they're doing it. And but then people will be nicely good at following.
So reminds me of the FAA hazardous attitudes.
Yeah.
You know, complaining. You know, you see it a lot because they are so reliable.
Yes.
That things, they come and it's talk to people. Yeah. So.
Yes.
you see that kind of-
Yeah, you see it a lot. And like if you start with the Phantom, even the Phantom 4, which was their last Phantom, you know, the version 2, even in that, you know, you update the software and it wouldn't talk to one another, you had to problem solve all the time. But it was actually really good exercise. It's really good, you know, make sure you problem solve. So, whereas now you see people being quite shocked, oh, updating the software, it's not working. Like, it's easy. We all spend hours trying to figure out.
Wow. And that is falls in line with the whole there's so much more. Please, well, students here are learning about your so how long have you actually been on? Because you started with that, how long have you been incorporating?
Well, that's in 2016. That's when the Phantom 4 came out. And that was the first drone that was good enough for what I needed, like my customers that I sold those.
How are you seeing things change? And what do you see as a need?
Well, for us, and I think this applies to a lot of countries, we really need to throw out the rules to start again. Because honestly, look, an A4 sheet, you should be able to summarise the rules on an A4 sheet in big font, right? You know, and start with, don't do anything to damage people or damage property. And here's why, you know, don't fly further than you said, because if you lose the screen view and you lose sight of the drone and there's an aircraft coming, you don't know what's underneath the drone. Most people don't know how to turn the motors off and drop the drone. So what are you going to do? You know, it's simple. So you say those two things at the top, and then you give them the reasons why.
Having that visual that you're providing here.
Yes.
You don't see it.
No. And we also need to adjust. We need a much better global. Everyone's like working in silos, and Federal Aviation Authority, what they do, they go to another country and pick the worst of their rules. You can adopt them, like me, for example, it doesn't work, we know it doesn't work, it's not practical. The network model, it's such a dumb idea, much more Australia, not covered by mobile phone reception. Network coverage is never going to work unless you only want to be able to fly. You know, it's crazy. So we need to like go into New Zealand and steal their shield bombs. You know, you can fly your drone to below the highest objects. So you could fly the online of sight and you're all below 20 minutes and your trees are 25 minutes. Because you're not going to get an aircraft if they're going to be going up a tree. You know, and it's obvious because and yeah, the drone can be the least of the aircraft problems. The trees are the issue. So we need far more of that, and the recreational sector, which I mentioned to you before we started talking, is the hugest sector on the planet. But getting them to form organisations is like herding cats. So it's really unfortunate that the largest sector on the planet, flying drones, is not represented by anybody. So all the rules are made and driven by the nagging from commercial operators, often who have vested interest in picking rules, that they might be running formal training and earning a lot of money, navigating complex rules and whatnot. So quite and like children, I keep saying, to cancer, Australian Federal Aviation Authority, you need to think about all these rules and respect procedure of being aviators and drones are stepping stone in other technologies, not just drone flying, but also software engineers, aircraft engineers, whether they be drones or crewed aircraft. So what are you doing? You're making all these really strict rules and it'll be putting families on, taking their kids to drone fly. Like what a fail. And not enough is talked about this. So I think we all need to get, every country needs to get on the case of the Federal Aviation Authority in every country. So start thinking about the impact of your rules on children. You need to make it safe and easy for kids to fly with the parents.
So let's talk about a little bit of how do you reaching out to make it safer and just make it I love your visuals really defined by this. But how do you reach them? How can you provide
Well, I actually get the whole sort of people approach me and mention, oh, it's not just people who started out, people who've done it for a while. And they've got issues, they've got challenges, or they've reached a dead end and they're not sure how to go further. Or often they've spent, because our training is like $2,000 to get a remote license. It takes a week. We have flight tests. There's none of the online business. We have to have at least a couple of days in person with the instructor. Most people spend 5 days in a classroom learning. And so they go and do that, and then they go, oh, how can I make money? And the training organisations can sell this rosy picture and take real estate photos or whatever. And it's not going to work for them. So then they come to me and I talk about building on what they've already got, building on their own skills and personality, the contact their experience, what do they care about? And so we talk about that. So it's quite holistic. We don't just go out and fly a drone around the park. Right, that's not going to teach me. Do that on their own. So I try to give people what they cannot find. Can't find it online. Can't find it in other training organisations. It's that experience that comes from running a small business for a long time. You know challenges. Yeah, so you help them navigate that. But often they might be ex-defence course, things like that. Or big companies, they're not used to navigating the self-employment like that.
The whole business side.
Yes.
Yes. That's so you mentioned something that I should talk to you about. Practical flying. We do not have it. And something like that. Really good on it. We can take the book and we can study from the book, but can we get on So tell me a little bit about your business.
Yeah. Well, I did mine the other now. But I think it's not the same. No, well, it's very simple. We have to follow certain pages first and all that kind of thing. But if I'm teaching someone, I get them started up and I just watch how they do it. You know, I'll turn the drone around so the battery's facing you so that, you know, if you're in a hurry, you don't definitely fly the drone in because your instinct is to stick away, you know, simple stuff like that. And also I watch them, if they just press the auto to take, I said, no, none of that auto business. You learn a manual, same as a car, you know, you learn in a manual car ideally, and then you go to an automatic car. I say, no, do everything manual. None is all business, it's flyable. Do everything manual, and I just watch how they're doing it and give them little tips like that. That's one-on-one training, but it's very, very efficient. And often it's only an hour or two, and people can learn so much because they just kind of fill in gaps in a very efficient way. And it's a lot less stressful than running whole groups. But whole groups have the advantage to get the interaction between them. I encourage people to tell stories, and it makes it very memorable for people because everyone chips in their own stuff. I don't stand up front and talk. They will do an intro and then talk amongst one another as well. And I love that. That helps react mentally to
So one of the top topics that we discussed previously was being able to share with them, because it is, we are
yeah, but that's kind of scary because then you like bump into someone like, oh, I've seen your work, I've been following what you do for a few years, and you're like, right, I hope I've been doing the right thing, because if you're unusual in any career, anywhere, you actually are a role model for others, want to be or not, or realise it or not. So I do try and remind people of that, and like you go and put videos online showing you flying when you shouldn't be, how you should be, too high, too far, whatever. I can see that and emulate. We do have an issue here at home, and I know it's an issue where there's a lot of people doing the wrong thing. The videos go online, and then there's no punishment, there's no nothing. So we really do need to get better at that, because others see it and they go, oh, well, we did it, so why can't I? You know, so we should all be mindful of that. But I don't think we should play it too safe either, in terms of being a role model and trying to pretend we're all perfect and whatever. I think I prefer confidence, you know, and be honest. And that's why I say our drone rules really need rewriting and redoing this. And simple, plain English, practical terms.
So we were going to wrap it up and share with the audience right now. What would be your one tip? So that's the inspiration that you.
Oh, that's I'll sum it up. So many sayings. But in a way, it's kind of like be the change we want to see, really. There's a lot of people complain is that, well, get in and do it and help other people who are already doing it. You know, don't expect the world to change. You've really got to get amongst yourself. And sometimes people say, oh, you know, but the fearless. I think that's rubbish, because only stupid people are not fearless. It's smart to be concerned. It's smart to be afraid. But what you have to do is work through it and then do it anyway, but with a plan. So feel the fear and do it anyway. That's kind of been my motto. And that comes to public speaking and everything, because I encourage a lot more women to get on stage and share what they know. And a lot are not used to it. I say, well, it's hard, you know, but the more you do it, the more you'll be able to do it. And that applies to drone flying and everything else. You've just got to shut your eyes and get into it and keep at it. And then you'll find that it's difficult to do and you become better at it. And that helps build your confidence. Build the confidence by doing it. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. down there.